Hello, Buckeye fans. Welcome back to another episode of the Silver Bullet Saga podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Vonderhaar. Yes, we've got new intro music because the Buckeyes have a brand new defense. Joining me now, as always, Adam Vonderhaar. Adam, how you doing?
It's a great day to be a Buckeye. I'm happy to be here, Ryan. And any week that we can go and beat the Nittany Lions is a good week. And wow, what a showing!
It wasn't what we thought it was going to be at the beginning of the season, right? We build this game as maybe the Buckeyes' #1 game of the season. Jim Knowles returned to the horseshoe a year after helping the Buckeyes win a national championship as the defensive coordinator. The vaunted Penn State Nittany Lions, the preseason #2 team in the nation. Well, it wasn't exactly what it was, right? Coming into Columbus. They end up losing a heartbreaker at home in overtime to Oregon, which kind of avalanched. Sometimes you say snowball. That was an avalanche into 3 more losses after the Oregon loss. They fire their head coach, James Franklin. Drew Aller goes down in the last game with a season-ending injury for Franklin's last game. And we saw a totally different Nittany Lions team. Was still had talent on the field. You know, it wasn't that they were terrible. Um, not that they're like the worst team in the Big Ten. That's not the case at all. It just seemed like, they were tired of, whatever the voice was in the locker room had gone stale. They weren't playing as hard as they could have. They kind of lost the message after having that close loss to Oregon. And that happens, with teams that, don't have a incredibly strong culture that can resiliently bounce back from a heartbreaking loss. And our team is all too familiar with that, right? All that to say, the Buckeyes win last weekend, 38-14 at home. It was a great win. Probably, I mean, I don't know if you can say the most dominant from start to finish, just from the way that the first half ended, and we can get into that a little bit. But the best the offense has looked all season. I mean, I think that's pretty fair to say. Julian Sayin couldn't miss a pass. I mean, he's over 80% completion rates in each of these games. When you needed big plays, he put them out there. Uh, we'll go through the stat sheet, but Adam, any main takeaways from our kind of the beatdown that Buckeyes had against Penn State?
I think if you want to criticize our defense for giving up one legitimate drive, that happened. They drove it down the field on us in the second quarter. But other than that, we scored 17 points in the first half. We were keyed up, ready to go up 24-7, and CJ Donaldson fumbles it in our own red zone. Something, Ryan Day talked about it enough. It is striking to me that CJ did not miss he got the ball the very next drive, I believe. There
Yeah,
wasn't
you got to
quite
get
a
him back in there, I
punishment.
think, was the thought there. Like, just get it
Yeah.
out of his head, let it be. I agree with you. Sometimes it's like sit him down the rest of the game.
When
We
when
still
we've
we
got
still don't
four
know who the
running
running backs
backs,
are. We still
now
don't know who the running backs
to
are.
me, why don't we punish the ones that are making mistakes instead of putting them right back out there? I mean, it's not like last year where, well, you can't sit Trey after the penalty against Texas or something like that. I don't understand the move to put him right back in, but whatever works. Day has earned a lot of leash in terms of
I
questioning coaching decisions, so I'm going to let him rock with that.
I think what all it is with CJ, and maybe it wouldn't have been the same, with other folks in the same position, is that he's a senior. He
Yeah,
transferred in from West Virginia. He's played a lot of football, and I think Day knows he needs him in short yardage situations, like down the stretch. He's going to be getting the ball. Like Donaldson is going to get carries, I think, every game, barring injury, just because of what he's bringing to the table with his size and his vet presence. So maybe part of it is just get him the ball back quick and
I
for
never even saw it close
quick.
up what exactly happened.
Just got ripped out of his hands. I mean, that
Yeah,
that was kind of the thing in the stadium was it kind of felt like the play should have been called dead. Forward progress was stopped for probably 2 seconds, full 1, 2, and then it
yeah.
gets kind of yanked out of his hands, and obviously the ball goes the other way. But we've been on the right side of that, a couple times this season. Illinois, we had a huge fumble takeaway for that. So whatever. Like at the end of the
Yeah.
day,
Nick
it's
Saban
back.
said it. You hand
Yeah.
the ball to the referee. That's it. That's your ball. You don't let anybody take it away from you. That's
But
that's good advice for running backs.
Day said that in the post game too, which was just, you're so thankful that you get to learn that lesson in a game where you're, winning, walking away,
Yeah.
because there will be games later this season where if you make that same mistake, you lose the game. I mean,
I
that's it.
also don't
Yeah.
mind a slight nervousness going into halftime, just because we haven't had a lot of going into halftime needing to regroup, so like you look each other in the mirror or whatever. And then obviously you come out and it's touchdown in about 50, like while I'm still trying to get back from the bathroom at halftime, all of a sudden the game's over. It's over with.
Yeah,
It's
it was. And Day said that at halftime, the coaches were in the locker room making it feel like they were down 3 scores when in reality they were still winning the game. Um, just so much success on offense. You had, if the fumble doesn't happen there, the Buckeyes have about 2 full minutes to go down the field, and I think everybody in the stadium felt like, yeah, let's just go score another touchdown and let this thing be 24-7 at halftime,
right.
and the thing's over. But they don't. It stays close, and that kind of, you know, it's almost like manufacturing, what Michael Jordan would say he would do back in the days, like make up things that his opponent would say, like pretend like they're talking crap to you in order to get fired up. Like it's almost like that situation, because what happens to open up the second half? Buckeyes get the ball, they go right down the field and punch a touchdown in, and suddenly nobody's feeling nervous anymore. It's back to party time.
57-yard pass
Yeah,
to Carnell Tate down to the Penn State 20-yard
on the
line. I mean,
screws too. I mean, just a thing
yeah.
of thing of beauty. The Julian Sayin, and maybe this is a good time to
Yeah.
talk about that. The hype train has left the station. Like we are fully on past the whole, oh, he's a scrappy freshman, playing against Texas and winning a big opener at home when not too much was asked of him. He is an elite player and can make great quick decisions. Every ball that he throws is so accurate. He's hitting guys on the hands in stride. Go watch the Jeremiah Smith long touchdown where he throws it over the safety and around the corner and puts it just in Jeremiah Smith's hands, not even in stride, like literally tucks it into his hands, 40, 45 yards down the field. Like he's incredible. And if you
Jeremiah
check
had his own moment after that. I mean,
100%,
we're fighting for Heisman finalists
well,
here.
that was a topic for today. So number one, Julian Sayin, for folks at home that aren't keeping up with the betting odds, which there's no reason that you should be, Julian Sayin is the favorite for the Heisman Trophy as of today. I believe he's sitting there at plus 150 odds. He's going to have, a couple stat patter games with Purdue this weekend, UCLA, and then Rutgers. And then he'll have his two Heisman moment, opportunities. One against the rival, getting to reset, hopefully the rivalry against Michigan, and then the other against the vaunted Indiana, Kurt Signetti. What a perfect storyline. It really, to me, almost sets up that either Indiana's quarterback or our quarterback is going to win the Heisman this year, just based on the games that are remaining on the schedule. I think it's Mendoza is his name out there in Indiana. But no, Sayin's unbelievable. And Adam, why don't you walk us through the Jeremiah Smith play? This one, there's only a handful of these. He's probably got 5 or 6 like this. He makes
Yeah.
amazing catches all the time, but this one is like truly, to me, all on its own. It was
Yeah.
right in front of you, where your seats were. You have a great video, which we've already tweeted, but we'll link to the episode when we put it out. Adam, walk
Sure.
us through it.
Yeah. I mean, we had the Bo Jackson had a 51-yard rush right before that to put us right into the red zone at a point in the game, which the game was already pretty well over. I mean, the two touchdowns before that really extended the lead. But it just felt like, okay, well, something is going to happen right here. Too big of a play just occurred. We're going to score a touchdown right here somehow. So I got the camera out, and my girlfriend Emily there, she was with me too. I pulled it out a couple times. It just felt like special moments. Something's about to happen, and wouldn't you know it, Sayin
You
sends
were right
one.
on that one.
Yeah, I was right on this one. Sayin sends one, gets broken up, I believe by the linebacker right behind the line of scrimmage. I think somebody gets a hand on it, and the ball's just flying in the air, and all of a sudden you see Jeremiah Smith go way up and high point this thing. Basically, like he said, he was trying to make sure it wasn't an interception, trying to keep his quarterback clean. And the guy's got too big of hands, too much reach to not just come home with it. He just makes a perfect play on a ball that most of the Penn State defenders were just kind of standing still watching. Here's Jeremiah Smith playing tip drill, grabbing it out of the air for a touchdown. It was shocking and it was awesome. It was the kind of thing you're happy you got to see it in person.
Yeah, as soon as you said that, I was like, oh, that was the sequence. You're totally right. It goes 51-yard breakaway run from Bo Jackson right down the middle of the field. And then straight into that's a 1st and 10 from the Penn State 11 with an 11-yard touchdown catch. And there's really no way to describe it. I mean, every angle you look at it is a different type of fascinating for the way that ball somehow, found its way to Jeremiah Smith. It goes through 2 guys. It's tipped at the line. It's kind of floating. Like, to be honest,
Yeah.
Smith is probably just trying to smack it away. His first instinct is like it could get picked really easy, in the end zone. But then he just magically, I mean, it's literally like a Michael Jordan kind of thing.
It's
Like
one of those
just snaps
plays that really good players can make that, like, you think you've seen everything in football, and it's like, oh wow, I don't know if I've ever seen something like that happen before. And I remember Jackson Smith and Jigba had one early in his career, and it just kind of, not the same play, but it just
Yeah,
kind of reminded me
levitating
of it.
back of the end zone. I
Yeah,
remember that one too. Yeah.
just one of those end zone plays. It's like, how did he even do that? And no, it's really neat to see.
Penn State finishes the game with under 200 total yards on offense. Another just amazing statistic from this Buckeye defense. Um, Caleb Downs later in that game probably gets a good friendly call, not with a targeting penalty that in the stadium, I didn't think it was as bad as it was. And then leaving the stadium, seeing the replay, I'm like, yeah, probably targeting. Like, probably should have gotten ejected for the first half of Purdue, but he wasn't. And we can leave that up to home cooking or a makeup call or, whatever it was. But the thing that I loved about it was number one, Caleb Downs, his reaction was hilarious when he got to stay in the game. He was like, wow. And he walked back out on the field. But number two, like literally 2 plays later, comes down with a pick in the end zone. So not only does he stay in the game, but he evens out the turnover deficit for the Buckeyes on Saturday, and kind of just puts a ribbon on things, making a big play down the line. Buckeyes had 22 first downs on the day, called for 2 penalties. They were 6 for 9 on 3rd down. That's going to win a lot of ball games, especially when you're not getting to that many 3rd downs. 1 for 1 on 4th down. Really, time of possession was pretty even. 30 minutes for the
Strangely enough.
Buckeyes. Yeah, 29-53 for the Lions. But, part of that is even with Ryan Day's best efforts to go as slow as they can on offense, they were still scoring. I mean, they were still bombs, down the field too. So, really unique game the way it played out. I think the thing to take away is Julian Sayin and Jeremiah Smith. I think one of them is going to win the Heisman this year. I have a ticket for Julian Sayin that I bought preseason. That's feeling like a real award at this point. 30-1 preseason odds for Julian Sayin to win the Heisman. We'll see if we're cashing that ticket. But
He
if he
sure
keeps,
looks good.
yeah, if he keeps doing what he's done, right, he's in a pretty great track in order to get there. Bo Jackson finishes the day 13 carries for 105 yards. To me, he's kind of the guy, right? He's kind of been the most consistent of our running backs. He was really efficient all day on Saturday, and then he breaks that 51-yarder off to give you a little taste of the flair, right? To have that kind of touchdown breakaway ability. Other than that, Adam, I mean, Carnell and Jeremiah Smith. What
Yeah,
more can
those
you
are
say?
both those are Sunday numbers there. 5 for
Yeah,
124 and 6 for 123. Neapolitan or Oreo, pick your flavor, what you like out of that. And basically we saw in the third quarter, if this team needs to pull out the death ray, needs to go blow up a planet, no problem, and then we'll go back to running the ball. But yeah, we saw that explosiveness there to open up things in the third quarter and kind of silence. It kind of worked out perfect because in the first half, going into halftime, most of the national social media is like, "Oh, better watch out! Is Ohio State on upset alert with Penn State?" And got
Rico
the
Bosco.
whole Rico Bosco, absolutely Skell. The whole world's eyes were on this game, and then they got to see what a fully operational battle station looks like in the third quarter to just kind of shut all of that up. It was kind of perfect in that way that it built the suspension at halftime and then just all faded away in about an instant in the third quarter.
For the people that are like, it's kind of a lot to say this OSU team's better than last year's, this is the difference. When defenses, step up and start draping the receivers and like they're trying to force you to run it and they're not letting you really get anything uh, over the top. Sayin can still deliver the ball into the receiver's
A
hands
lot of
down the field,
accuracy. Yeah.
in the middle of the field, on the sidelines, on the short routes. Like even if you're playing perfect coverage, he's so accurate that he can still get the ball to these guys. And I think that's probably one of the best stat lines of the season. Yeah, Carnell Tate, 5 receptions for 124 yards. Jeremiah Smith, 6 receptions for 123 yards, 3 touchdowns between the pair.
And I don't
If
have targets on here. I believe there might be one drop between the two of them. Like the targets were right there with the receptions, which is it's like, well, why do we even try to run the ball at this point if this is how we're going to play passing?
I don't
It's
know that
unbelievable.
I don't know if there was a drop or not. Yeah, I mean, Sayin only had 3 incompletions on the day. When you're throwing more touchdowns than incompletions, you're going to win the game. I mean,
Yeah.
that's really just the case, and just amazing. I mean, the way the boys are
It's
progressing.
a good day when you can remember your 3 incompletions, exactly what they were.
1,000%. Arvell Reese, number 8, turning
What,
himself into
what are
maybe
you
the
supposed to
best
do?
defensive player in the country. I mean, like it's hard to say that on a team that has Caleb Downs already, but man, when you make that much of an impact at linebacker, it really changes the defense because, he can do whatever he wants. You can set him up on the line and have him go after the passer. When we get to one of these running quarterbacks that can make it happen with their feet a little bit, he drops into spy and, they
Do
got
we
nothing going on. Yeah.
Are we not saying enough about James Laurinaitis? Are we not giving enough credit to former Ohio State great linebacker coming in and basically completely revamping the Silver Bullets and making a linebacker the best player on the defense? I mean, Caleb Downs is great. I think Arvell Reese, I think a lot of teams would take him over Caleb to pad their defense, stop the run, get to the quarterback. He's a, Micah Parsons level linebacker, and
He's better,
that's,
Adam. I put a
yeah,
stat on Silver Bullet Saga page today. His pass rush efficiency is better than Micah Parsons in college, which is, I mean, it's crazy. Like
it
that's
is
that's the
crazy.
stuff that gets you drafted top 5 as a linebacker in the NFL. So we'll see. I mean, if he just has to keep doing what he's doing, and he'll be a top 10 pick. I mean, there's really no argument about it. That ability to get to the passer is so invaluable, in the NFL. Like there's no way to really even put a number on it. So
Kenyatta Jackson Jr. with a sneaky 2 sacks on the
yeah,
day. Love to see that. It's just a defense. It's like a pick your poison defense. Somebody is going to make a play. I love seeing it spread out like that. But Arvell Reese with 12 total tackles. I mean, you know,
there was a
he's the
there was a story last week that came out about Kenyatta going to Matt Patricia and saying, "Hey, you need to tune me up a little more on pass rush. I want to go after the quarterback." Because through the first 4 or 5 games, I think he had maybe 1 sack. Well, in the last 2 games, he has 4. I want to say he had
he's lighting them up.
he had 2 on Saturday, and then I think he had 1.5 the week before. So they're using him just fine. The energy that he brings out on the field is unreal. You can see him on every play. He's bouncing. He's, dapping guys up after the play. You need that. Yeah.
6'6", 265, 4.5 sacks on the season. Hopefully we see his stock rise higher and higher, but love to see it.
And that forgets, so many other great players on the defense, but we don't have to talk about it today because we got a
Hey,
ton of
Brandon
season left.
Ennis, 9-yard return, punt return. Got to give him credit there. No fumble.
Ennis has been solid on punt
Yeah.
returns this year, minus the 1 fumble against Washington, which you can't have. But other than that, not he's taking care of the ball, but he's also getting positive yards on punt return, which is something that we haven't had in a long time.
Joe
Just where
McGuire, not a lot of chances
nope.
punting. Had one on the day, put it inside the 20, only 43 yards. But hey, inside the 20, I think we're going to take that. What do we think?
If we can get it inside the 20 each time, he gets to be the starting punter.
I
That's the
think the
rule.
bigger key is limiting the punts. That is the bigger key to success. If we can keep it 1, maybe 0 preferably, but 1 or 2 is okay. But 0 obviously is pretty ideal.
Penn State punted 6 times.
Hey,
200,
look
299 yards through the air punting.
hey, a lot of yardage there, guys. Congratulations.
Had a long of 63. I mean, that is a bomb.
Yeah, that's
That
putting it
is a
out
bomb.
there.
That's a field flipper, no doubt. 1 touchback, 2 inside the 20. Anyway, I think we turned the page. The
Hey,
only other
Jaden Feeling,
yeah,
perfect.
I was gonna say
Perfect.
Jaden Fielding, perfect, love it.
22.
The only other thing was the moment in the stadium where Game Ops puts the camera on Jim Knowles up in the booth and the whole crowd is booing, boo, 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 Jim Knowles. And then I've actually never seen this, them actually like leaning into a narrative or a bit like this as much as they did. They pan to Patricia on the field, and the crowd goes, yeah, yeah. Back to Knowles, boo. Back to Patricia, yeah, yeah. And then the Buckeye players started noticing it, and they were hyping Patricia up when it came back, like, yeah, yeah. So I I mean, I feel bad for Knowles, obviously, in that moment. Like that would stink. But what a funny thing for them to lean into, and it kind of was perfect. Like acknowledging the storyline of the day, and all the optics of what was happening, and little bit of fun, little tomfoolery from the game ops folks. I don't have a huge problem with it.
More
Some people
fun
aren't mine. Yeah,
if Penn State hadn't like hit their face, like crashed their motorcycle, and their face wasn't cheese grating across the pavement without their head coach and everything. But that doesn't change the fact from what Jim Knowles did to us. I think we're allowed to be a little petty about it. I think it's totally within, and it's not like Ryan Day's like, hey, if this is happening, make sure you do this. This is just probably a guy a lot like us in the you know production team for the camera stadium, or maybe
might
they did.
might have come down from Bjork. Might have been a
Yeah,
Ross
maybe
thing.
Bjork
Like,
said,
hey, I tried to retain you.
yeah,
You turned your back on me,
I have no
Knowles.
problem with it. In
Zero.
college football, this is all theater, guys. We watch this for fun storylines, to do petty things to people we're
That's why we have a
rivals with.
podcast.
Yeah, if you're like holier than thou, that's that's not fun. Nobody's having fun like that. This is fun. It's like last year. I know you said you never saw the production team do that, but they put the Signetti. They put him on the newspaper
True.
reel
No.
anime,
Yep, you're right. Yep, they had that one.
and that people kind of didn't like that. I'm all here for it. If you could win and do stuff like that at home, that's the whole point of playing games at home, is to have fun like that. I mean, it's playing Rocky Top, everybody singing Rocky Top, and then breaking into na da 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 goodbye, with
That was a
Tennessee.
magic moment. This
Yeah,
magic moment. Um, we turn the page.
sure.
We're moving on to Purdue. The Buckeyes head to Northwest Indiana, out to West Lafayette, to Ross-Ade Stadium, which has not had the best memories for Buckeye fans a lot of years, but I don't think that Purdue team is waiting in the wings for these Buckeyes. Now, Purdue is coming off of one of their better games this year. They played Michigan close last week, took them down kind of to the wire in Ann Arbor, lose that game 21-16. So at less than a touchdown game, 5-point game there. Unfortunately for Purdue, that's been a lot of this season. A week before that, 27-24 loss to Rutgers. Before that, 19-0 Northwestern. Before that, 27-20 Minnesota. Before that, 43-27 Illinois. This is not Jeff Brom's Purdue team from a handful of years ago, okay? This is a team,
This is Barry Odom's Purdue team.
it is Barry Odom's Purdue team. It's a Purdue team that's getting 2.9% win probability from ESPN. Adam, what do
They're
you
paying
know?
this guy $6.5 million a year to start the season 2-7 at Purdue. I'm surprised Purdue has the pocket to pay coach that, but I
That
also
is
don't know
shocking, actually, as you say that. Like, but what
the
is the
team.
going rate of a bad Big Ten team? I don't know.
Right, it seems like a lot of money. A guy that made the move from UNLV at the end of the 24 season to start at the Boilermakers. It's a little surprising, and he was only there for a year, and he was let's see, before that he was a DC at Arkansas. Before that he was at Missouri. I guess he was Missouri's head coach, 16-19. That's interesting.
Something.
He's kind of bounced around a lot of different jobs over the years, just kind of a career guy. I don't know how long he'll be at Purdue with looking at his coaching history. If he only wins 2 games this season, you got to feel like maybe the hot seat next year. But they probably miss Jeff Brom. Jeff Brom can punch up. I don't know if Barry Odom has that capability.
I don't think so.
Hope not.
Looking up and down the line there for Purdue, they get a lot of yards. Quarterback's got 1,800 yards through the air. Running back's got about 520, which is comparable to our guys. Sayin's he's about to get to 2,200 yards through the air this season. Difference is touchdowns. Sayin's got 23. Brown has 9 touchdowns and 7 picks for Purdue. So kind of a 50-50 guy. Can move the ball up and down the field, but throwing as many picks as you are touchdowns, that's not going to lead to very many good to a great season.
A lot of sack yards lost, 92 yards on the season.
Now they do have a big lineman in Nanali. He has a wild name, Nanali. Yeah, Nunnally. He's got 5 sacks on the season. So we'll see what they can do, kind of in
Keep
pressure.
an eye on that.
Yeah, do
concern
me a little bit. Yeah. So that's kind of what it is. It's on the Big Ten Network at 1:00. Weird 1:00 start time for a college football game, right? We don't see that too much, but we'll see. I mean, Buckeyes make the trip out west. The Buckeyes are favored by 30.5 points as Adam gets his headphones set. He's jiggling with them here for a second.
I had to get them plugged in. They were going to die on me.
Yep, you're fine. Buckeyes favored by 30.5. Adam, I don't think we have a ton more breakdown on the players that Purdue has this.
Well, I got to shout out Spencer Purath, their kicker. He's 91.7% on the season, and he does have a 50-plus yarder. It was right on the 50, but you got to give credit. Some guys say they're comfortable within 60. Some guys can hit a 50-plus, so it's interesting.
You're saying put him on the bus when you walk out, take him out.
Is the portal open? Can we bring a guy in?
How far are we from that, right? Mid-season portals. Doesn't feel like
deadline. 30. You say 31.5 is the spread?
30.5 is what the Buckeyes are laying down.
30.5 going to Lafayette.
Let's do it. Let's do our score predictions. I'm good if you are.
You go first. Go ahead.
Yep, I'll start. For the Buckeyes, okay, you're coming off of a game where you gave up 14 points, and I know the defense was not happy about that, even though it was in a turnover in their own red zone. I was just rattling off some of the scores this season for what Pur-DONT's kind of been up to. And they've been able to score some weeks, right? 20 points, 27 points, 24 points. To me, this is very similar. Ohio State's going to get up about 3.5 scores and then put the brakes on again and just keep continuing the death march until the end of November here. I see this thing wrapping up somewhere in the area of 42-17. Adam.
I think 42-17, good guess. I like that. I don't think we are going to cover this. I think it's too many points on the road, the way Ryan Day has been. I feel very similar to Illinois game coming, even though I know Purdue's not got the record as Illinois does, but I'm thinking like 38-10. So I guess that would be a 3-point shy of covering. 38-10 is my guess.
30 is a huge line, especially for a conference game. So I don't think there's any issue if they don't cover this time. The Buckeyes are 7-0-1 against the spread this season, which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
The phrase in the betting industry is good teams win, great teams cover, and the Buckeyes are covering almost every week.
There's been a lot of good Ohio State teams not covering anywhere near that percent. I mean, that's unheard of percentage.
100%. We're gonna go out on our new theme music because the defense is carrying this team, Adam. Thank you.
It's good. We'll keep it this way unless they don't earn it.
Yeah, if they don't earn it, we're going back.
Yeah. War Pigs free on out.
Thank you for
Natty
joining.
Bound, baby.
The silver.
The silver. Machine keeps turning. There's an hatred to Michigan beyond us. Wolverine.
Gary, Indiana.
Want to go back to old Columbus town, to the stadium to hear the band. By far the finest in the land.